Hello, Libra. Welcome to your reading. We're going to take a look at the next 3 weeks, November 11th to November 30th, 2019. Thank you for being here. So glad you could make it. I hope you're doing fantastic, Libra. Now, happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving as well. Libra, I already shuffled and laid out your spread, so let's just dive right in and get into your reading. Now, Libra, you have protecting treasure. That's a 39 breaking down to a 12. So I feel like this is you focusing on the alternatives around your circumstances and situation. You may have experienced a lot of predicaments that were challenging with her being under the umbrella and it's raining. But with protecting treasure here, this is talking about that you are protected, you are always protected and divinely guided or directed here. I feel that with this protecting treasure, that you have had to focus on and protect the things that you hold dear, or evaluate the things that you held dear, and perhaps realizing that there was some issues around perhaps connections or matters of the heart or circumstances or situations that you needed to look at more closely, where you experience taking great risk or challenges towards or around. But this is also you moving forward despite the challenges that have happened or the risks that you've taken or didn't take, because you are protected, always protected, have always been protected despite whatever turbulence, problems, complications, any stagnancy, or if you felt you were in a holding pattern or weren't able to see how to move, or you were in a space and time where you just couldn't make any moves, that you just was held up. You were always divinely protected and divinely directed here. You also have divine timing, which is a 30, breaking down to a 3. So, with this divine timing, I feel that this is the universe orchestrating things on your behalf in your world that you may have had some sort of challenge or resistance with or towards it, with your own agenda or needs or wants that you wanted to see happen, and just things may have not been at the right time, or timing was off, or there was bad timing, or it just wasn't time for it. And I do feel that with divine timing here, you're at a space and time where things are changing, and now you're coming into a space where the right time is here. Um, the universe is orchestrating things where that progress can happen or is starting to happen here in a way where you weren't able to gain or create the changes that you wanted, or you were dealing with a lot of unexpected matters, issues, circumstances, or just dealing with a lot of problems that was going on in your world that you just had to endure or accept, or find a way to have balance while the things were shifting and changing in your world that may have been outside of your control. And so you also have several cards that came out here with my chakra oracle deck. And so you have growth as a result of what you've gone through and experienced in relationships, in your circumstances, in your world, in your environment. Um, what you had to go through caused you to experience growth. in you, how you view things, which for me, I feel like that this is talking about it put you in a space where you needed to reassess and reevaluate and work on things that allowed you to experience some sort of growth, some sort of progress now, or you are now going to see growth through all the preparation I'm hearing that you may not have seen as preparation, but that's what it was for you and what the divine was orchestrating around instinct. This is you sharpening your instinct, going with your gut, paying attention to your intuition, focusing on your survival, learning how to be clever and cunning, and especially how to adapt. And so you have release. I feel that this is talking about you are in a space where you are releasing toxicity, things that no longer served you, or things that needed to be buried and that you needed to depart from or be departed from, or this is you being released from things, situations, people, circumstances. There was difficulties, there was pain, and that pain needed to be released. And you may have dealt with a lot of things, a lot of endings here. You see with all those tombs? You dealt with a lot of endings. There was a lot that needed to be purged and let go of, removed from your world, from your circumstances, and even that was going on in you, where you may have experienced a lot of sadness and pain and upset. Because you do have grief. So you were hurt and grieving, and it may have taken you a very long time because there was problems with disloyalty of family, shady dealings of your family or friends, or a relationship or relationships, or significant connection. That you may have also had to deal with collections. That I almost said that, where you owed a debt and you had to take responsibility for it, and it upset things for you financially in such a way where you had to learn how to deal and how to survive and thrive despite the obligation that you found yourself having to address, that there was no way out of but to go through. And so you also have trickery. So you dealt with a lot of trickery, a lot of bullshit, a lot of nonsense, um, being betrayed, being lied to, being deceived, perhaps even to some extent deceiving and betraying yourself in some way. But I feel this is you releasing or coming to a space where now you're releasing the grief and the trickery that you went through or you were experiencing or that was done to you or that happened. Because you also have gratitude. So I feel that this is you experiencing a more positive outlook towards your life, your circumstance, and the things that have happened and played out, at least in a more positive way. Whereas before, you may not have been able to do that. This may have affected you where you had become ungrounded or unstable or experienced a lot of anxiety, where there was needed to focus on your root chakra and heal that. And then with all this purple here, this caused you to strengthen your intuition or to rely on your intuition and your instincts, to turn to spirit, to be guided, to deal with and go through the things that you were worrying about or that you needed to have more focus. And so I feel that you're in a space of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, where you are grateful that despite the things that happen, the trouble, the problems, the disruption, the adversities, that you were able to see through, to get through. Because you do have fork in the road. So you had a fork in the road. Or you may still have a fork in the road. But I just feel like with this fork in the road, this impasse that you either are moving away from or seeing yourself at, that you're going to find a way to move through it, overcome it, or you're already beginning to do that. Because you have yeah, yeah, yeah. And for me, that's positive. You are happier. You're feeling better. Now, your overall energy, you do have the Three of Swords. So there was some disappointment, some betrayal, some upset, some breakdown in communication, dissatisfaction. Just things were very difficult with this Three of Swords. You may have even felt betrayed. There could have been some cheating, a three-party situation, external factors and circumstances that have influenced and affected your circumstances, or all of the above. And you weren't able to achieve what you wanted, or desired, or pursue it, or gain it with the Queen of Wands energy. You could have also been dealing with someone embodying the Queen of Wands energy. And this may have been someone that could have betrayed you or hurt you, or someone that was very focused on their own ambition and aims. But I feel like with this being your overall energy, this is whatever disappointments and setbacks that you were trying to achieve or that you were passionate about. With the Tower, you could have been dealing with the Scorpio or have this energy in your chart, but you had a lot of adversities, a lot of problems, a lot of shakeups, a lot of uncomfortable shakeups. A foundation may have been destroyed. You had a lot of adversities here that you had to weather or get through or experience. And it affected your ability to have balance in your resources, in your world, in your circumstances. You may have needed to give, or you may not have been able to receive, or there was an imbalance in that exchange of give and take. You may have felt taken from or taken advantage of. But you still focused on, with the Six of Pentacles, being able to hold up under those adversities, being able to figure out a way to deal with the trauma and any crisis or any despair or depression you could have experienced. And you still found a way to focus on how to balance things, to continue to work towards achieving some sort of balance. And so in the recent past, you do have the Chariot. You could have been dealing with the Cancer, or have this energy in your chart, Libra. But with the challenge, with the Chariot here in your recent past, this may have been a challenge for you with the ability to have forward movement, or to get things under control, or have control, or to be able to go with the flow, or steer things, or get to your destination, or see forward movement, or overcome your adversities here. And so this was you needing to have self-control, emotional discipline. This was you needing to focus on becoming focused, pulling in any scattered energy, noticing where you lack discipline or lost direction, and seeing how to navigate things to get back on course, to get control, to overcome, to start experiencing some victory, some forward movement here. Spirit, tell me more about the Chariot. For others of you, this may be issues around travel that you were experiencing in the recent past. Tell me more about the Chariot for Libra. This may have been you emotionally at odds within yourself about your experiences that felt or were negative that you were experiencing. Tell me more about the Chariot for Libra. Thank you. With the Chariot, you do have justice. So with the Chariot here, this was you struggling with the ability to have balance, struggling and having problems with seeing the right things happen. May have had struggle with making decisions. You may have wanted to see karma to kick in. This may have been around commitments with the Hierophant. You could have been dealing with the Taurus. Or this may have been issues with you being able to establish or institute the things you needed to make happen to see forward movement. There may have been issues with family. You may have had struggle with a commitment with an institution where you may have had a decision that you needed to address and balance it out in the recent past, and that may have been difficult. It may have affected your money and your ability to have resources, and you felt that it was a huge struggle, that it was tumultuous what you went through. I'm hearing the word literally tumultuous, what you went through, and that you did not know if you would ever be able to get into control or to recover from the hurt and the pain, from the disappointment, or see any sort of completion or end. But I do feel that this taught you self-mastery. Now, at present, you do have the Six of Swords. And by the way, with Justice here, this is you, Libra. This is you in the recent past as well. Needing to get control, get a sense of direction, needing to focus, needing to use your will and determination and intellect and get your emotions in check and start steering things or going with the flow and finding ways to balance. And so at present, you're at the Six of Swords. Nice. So with the Six of Swords here, mental energy, you are now at a place of more peace of mind, where you move to calmer waters, moving away from the turbulence that you were dealing with. It's like you're even working on, or you're coming to a place of not even carrying it with you. The swords are not in the boat. So this is you moving on, getting peace of mind at present, moving past the conflicts, the disputes, the defeats, the battle in your mind, the battle with others, the battles that you had to face in your world and overcome, and steer in such a way so as to not be defeated or destroyed. Spirit, tell me more about the Six of Swords for Libra. Thank you. With this Six of Swords, you do have the Page of Coins, and underneath that, the Six of Cups. So you could have been focused on a significant relationship regarding someone from the past. Also, a matter from the past could have come back up that you had to address. But also with the Six of Cups, there could have been issues with family or the ability to reconcile or get solutions or have satisfactory conclusions. And so you've learned with this Page of Coins, and through that learning, you were able to come up with new practical approaches or make small changes here in order to gain or regain a sense of emotional stability, where with this Page of Coins, this was you working on things and needing to take the steps to do that, to get that solution for yourself and to do it in a practical way. And this was something that you had to discover the new path that you needed to take. It's also possible there could be a focus on a child or some news that comes in that allows you to gain perhaps the debt that you are or had is over, is completed, and now you are regaining what was reduced, being put back to your resources and money, and this is giving you more peace of mind. Or you have learned, and as a result of learning through the difficulties that you were facing and dealing with in your world, in relationships, and as a result, you're moving on from it and having more peace of mind. It isn't affecting you so as much as it did. And so in the future, you do have the Ace of Wands. Nice. This is you taking the leadership, having a new start, having a new beginning, implementing something new, a new action, able to recenter, have a fresh start, if you will. Perhaps this is you being able to have a new ambition, a new inspiration with this Ace of Wands. Spirit, tell me more about this Ace of Wands. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Page of Swords, thank you, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. So I feel with this Ace of Wands in the future, this is you being able to protect yourself from any ruin, or this is you able to protect yourself from any complications or whatever was very painful for you and bring it to an end. There may be some news that comes in that allows something to come to an end, or for you to be able to resurrect something. And there's a new opportunity here, okay? There's a new emotion, a new feeling where you're receiving an offer or an opportunity, or you are experiencing self-love. And with this Page of Swords, you may be also speaking your truth. And that truth may be difficult for others to hear, but it's still the truth, your truth. And you're cutting away what doesn't serve you. And you're bringing it into what caused you pain, because you're focusing on your own self-love and filling your own cup. Very nice. And at the bottom, you do have the Tower, which is showing. And so with the Tower, you could be dealing with the Scorpio or have this energy in your chart. But I feel this is you experiencing some sort of reset or epiphany, or you are able to have a new start after things, after you experience devastation, uncomfortable shakeups, uncomfortable changes. Now your challenge here is you do have the Queen of Swords. So the challenge of the Queen of Swords here is that you could be dealing with a friend, your mother, someone significant, someone who is a Libra or an Aquarius or a Gemini. And you may have the challenge of communication, the challenge of seeing the logic in something or having someone see the logic in something. There may be the challenge of you being able to cut away what doesn't serve you, or the challenge of, with this Queen of Swords here, challenge with your plans. Spirit, tell me more about this Queen of Swords for Libra. Or this is you, and you're experiencing challenges with having clarity or logic, or with what you want to cut away or move away from. Tell me more about the Queen of Swords for Libra, because you are wanting release, or you're determined to have release here from the grief and the trickery, or whatever fork in the road that may be being presented or you seeing as a fork in the road. Tell me more about the Queen of Swords for Libra. Thank you. So this is the challenge of conflict, disputes. You may be back and forth in your mind around a decision. There may be the conflict of how to diffuse problems and difficulties. There may be the challenge of trying to avoid defeat. And with this Knight of Swords, it could be involving a Knight of Swords that you're dealing with. It's an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. Or there may be problems with communication. Knights bring about events. And this is about the communication, the logic, how to take action to be precise. You could be dealing with someone that's being very sharp, cutting, and negative, being cruel, being ruthless, lacking tact, being undiplomatic here. You may be having a challenge of how to assert yourself, to have victory and have little to no loss in your plans or around a dispute or communication. There may be the challenge of getting clarity around a situation in order to know how to communicate or to progress the situation in a diplomatic and peaceful way and see progress with what it is that you want to see results in, or a complication you want to see diffused. And so your likely outcome is the Emperor. You also could have the challenge of arguments. But your outcome is the Emperor. You could be dealing with an Aries. Now, the Emperor could be someone in authority. This could be a father figure or a very prominent masculine energy that you're dealing with. But with the Emperor here is your outcome. This is you being able to manage things, being able to get control, being able to build, being able to get some order, to create structure, to firm up your foundation. You could be dealing with a contract. There could be a negotiation here. You could be setting some rules or dealing with some terms or coming to terms with something. But I feel like this is you in your power. Spirit, tell me more about the Emperor for Libra. Tell me more about the Emperor for Libra. You have the Queen of Cups. So you're focusing on how to nurture something. Going with your instincts, going with your gut, going with your intuition. Managing and balancing your emotions. Perhaps you are overcoming codependency. Becoming more emotionally grounded and feeling more secure and stable. And able to reach a goal or complete a goal or create goals. With the Six of Wands, this is you experiencing victory. Victory around the things that you experience a lot of emotion and upset and pain around. Victory around the things that you wanted to nurture, to take care of. Victory around the things that you wanted support around or to feel supported with the Six of Wands. This is you overcoming the adversities and strife. This is you having a sense of acknowledgement, recognition, having victory, being in your personal power, being more in control, feeling more grounded, being relieved of anxiety or having less anxiety, feeling more secure, feeling more safe. Very nice, Libra. And so this is you navigating the fork in the road that was occurring or reoccurring in your life and being better at your ability to deal with adversities and to be empowered and to manage things and manage your emotions and what you're dealing with. And perhaps gaining more independence and feeling more in authority perhaps you satisfied something with someone in authority. So let's take a look at what your guidance is. Spirit, what is the guidance for Libras? What is the guidance for Libras? Because things are taking a turn for you for the better, I feel, Libra. Where you can release the grief, the trickery and manipulation that you experienced and that you was dealing with, and having more of an attitude of gratitude. What is, thank you. You have secrets, a 19, breaking down to a 10. Whisper, confidences, and sharing. Secrets. I feel this is about you keeping things close to your chest, being more mindful to protect your dreams, protect the things that matter to you, protect the things that you hold dear, and being clever. Being more clever. And not letting, being more of a mystery, I feel, to others. And you have community here. You may be keeping secrets from others where there was a false sense of community or support, where you didn't get the contribution or the support or the communications that should be existing within your tribe, within your family, or the connections that you held dear, and now you withhold. You've learned. You've had to be clever. You've had to outfox people, or you had to become clever for yourself and build your confidence and mindful of who you share your energy with, your ideas, so that you could get grounded. But also, there's a need perhaps to keep secrets and to become more cunning and clever, and be mindful about who you're sharing things with, or what it is that you're sharing in an exchange of energy or conversation or connection, and only focus on the connections that you truly feel confident in, and be mindful of the ones that cause you to lack confidence. Keep your own counsel, or find a counsel that supports you. I hope these messages help. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.